StrayAllDay.com.
Now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves anyone out there, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of wait for things to happen. We put all this together into one bundle, one package, one mindset, one method, one philosophy, one book, one show. This masterclass right here that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. Today's topic is what to do when everyone is out for themselves. What do you do when nobody's really playing for the team, but everybody's just trying to do whatever they can do to maximize their own returns, but they're not even paying you any mind if they got to step over you and use you and rob, cheat, and steal from you to get what they want? They'll just do it anyway. What do you do in that situation? Well, first of all, let me give you a hint. Whatever it is you do, you're already doing it because the whole world is selfish. This is a truth that I want you to accept right up front before we even get in deeper into the material here today. Everybody in the world is tuned in to our favorite station, WIIFM, which stands for What's in It For Me. Everybody's tuned to that radio station all day, every day. You are listening to this show because you're tuned in to the station WIIFM. You're not listening to this to hear what's in it for me, Dre. You're listening to this to find out what's in it for you and fill in the blank with your name. People think first of themselves and their needs, first and foremost, and last of themselves and their needs, and then they address you and your needs if or when there is any time, energy, space, money, or focus left over to give to you. That's the way that it works. And you can turn that around and you do the exact same thing. You think of yourself and your needs first, and then you think of anyone else and their needs later. Now, some rare exceptions could be if you have a child, maybe you think of your child's needs on the same plane that you think of your own. But if you can't take care of you, you can't take care of a kid. So maybe you put your kid on the same level as you. But aside from that, not even your significant other, not even your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife, because they're just as capable an adult as you are. You don't put their needs ahead of yours for the most part. Now, maybe sometimes, but in aggregate, you think of yourself before you think of anybody else. You got to take care of you before you take care of others. Now, when I say selfish, I want you to understand, even though this word, the way that it gets used in politically correct society is that it has these negative connotations, being selfish. It means you're only thinking about you, you're using other people, you don't do things to help others out. No, that's not the way that you need to look at selfishness when you hear the term, even though we have been properly socialized to believe that that's what the term is about. Being selfish means focusing on you. It means doing things that will create the largest return on investment for you first, and then that can set you up to do other things for other people. But the thing is, you can't do something for somebody else if you can't do anything for you. If you can't educate yourself, you can't educate anybody else. Now, if you don't know how to do something, you can't help anybody else do it. All right, if you have not created success in a certain area of life, you can't help anybody else create success in that same area of life. You got to help yourself before you're able to help other people. And here's the other thing, most people don't want to be helped by somebody who does not have proof of having helped themselves already. Right? You don't want to get a fitness training from a fat trainer. You don't want to get a haircut from a guy with a bald head. All right? You don't want to get advice about how to build a brand from a person who has no social media platform or no online footprint and no following. Why would you want to do that? They haven't proven that they can even help themselves. How are they going to help you? Right? So it makes sense. It pays to be selfish in these ways that you got to take care of yourself before you are able to take care of anyone else, or before anyone is even willing to allow you to say anything to them about how you can help them. We all think first and foremost of ourselves and our needs, then we address others when there's time left over, if there's time left over. Now, while we do love other people, I'm sure there's some people out there that you love, we love ourselves more. And as I already explained, all of the above includes you. So today I'm going to tell you how, knowing this, that everyone's out for themselves, everyone is selfish, everyone is thinking first of them and then later of you. If there's time left to think of you, then they think of you. I'm going to tell you how you protect yourself given all of these harsh facts of life, if you consider them harsh. Point number one. Today's topic, once again, is what to do when everyone is out for themselves. Remember that gratitude has its limits, but greed has no limits. Let me repeat. This is point number one. Gratitude has its limits. Greed has no limits. Let's define this word gratitude so you know what it is. And let's define greed as well. Gratitude is the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. Definition of greed is intense and selfish desire for something, especially wealth, power, or food. Gratitude is your willingness to show thanks and appreciation for what someone else has done for you. There's a limit to that. There's only so much gratitude people have in them. And while that sounds that sounds kind of harsh, it sounds kind of cold, it sounds kind of Machiavellian. Well, guess what? It is all of those things. It is harsh, it is cold. That even if you do things to help other people out, you offer a kindness to other people, there's only so much gratitude they're going to show you. There's only so much gratitude you are going to receive back from life in exchange for the kindness that you give to life. In exchange for the value that you put out into the world, there's a limit to how much gratitude you will receive back, depending on in what form you put that kindness out there, and in what form you are aiming to receive gratitude back. There's a limit to how much you can get. Again, also based on your strategy and how you go about this. You can listen to my episodes on sales and marketing to learn more about that. Inside the game group membership, we have the master list there, so you can not listen to, but look up every episode in the history of the show and then subsequently listen to every episode in the history of the show. So yes, you can listen to it and you can look it up so you know what you're actually looking for. That master list is in there so you can see a list of every episode in order in the history of the show. It is right there inside the game group membership. Just look up master list. Anyway, greed, on the other hand, is an intense and selfish desire for something. I already told you that the whole world is selfish, which means the whole world on different levels, not everybody's the same, but the whole world on some level is greedy. The world, and when I say the world, I'm referring to individual people. The world wants what it wants. People want what they want. People are much more apt to serving their greed than they are serving their gratitude. Ask yourself this question. In the last 24 hours, how many people have you, or actually let's say it a different way, how many times have you expressed gratitude to anyone or anything, for anything? In the last 24 hours, how many times have you expressed gratitude that you can even remember? Don't feel bad when I accurately point out that you probably can't think of one time in the last 24 hours. Now, if you have the mental workbook, then you don't have this problem, because in the mental workbook, I show you a daily gratitude exercise that will become part of your wiring, part of your being, so that you are always expressing gratitude for something, because the more gratitude you express, the more reasons to be grateful will come your way. That is how the law of attraction actually works, or at least one aspect of it. So if you don't have the mental workbook, you got two ways to get it. First of all, you can go to workonmygame.com/workbook and you can order the book direct. The other way is when you claim your free copy of the Mirror of Motivation at mirrorofmotivation.com, on the very next page, after you put in your information so we can ship you the Mirror of Motivation, we're going to offer you a mental game advanced bundle, which is not only the mental workbook, but also a hardcover copy of my award-winning book, Work on Your Game. Use the pro athlete mindset to dominate your game in business, sports, and life. So there are two ways you can get the mental workbook. Okay, now all that being said, back to my point. Since you can't think of one time in the last 24 hours that you've expressed gratitude for anything, or if you can, you probably can only think of one, and two if it's on an amazing day. How many times have you served your greed over the last 24 hours? How many times in the last 24 hours have you done something that prioritized you over anyone else? All these people out here on this planet who have needs and wants and desires and problems, but you have prioritized yourself. How many times over the last 24 hours? How many times have you not paid attention to some need of somebody else? You could rather focus on your need. How many times have you sat down to eat? How many times have you gone to the bathroom? How many times have you gone to sleep? How much time have you spent sleeping? How much time have you spent doing things to help you get further ahead, as opposed to doing things to help somebody else get further ahead over the last 24 hours? Probably more times than you can even count. Damn near everything that you do is focused on doing things to help yourself, right? And listen, don't get defensive as you're thinking about this, because I'm not illustrating this to make you feel bad. I'm illustrating this just to make the practical point. Gratitude is an obligation, ladies and gentlemen. Offering thanks for a kindness that has been given to you, done unto you by a person, place, or thing is an obligation. You feel obligated when you owe someone gratitude. You're like, damn, I owe this person. I gotta give this person something. I have to do something for this person. I really gotta figure that out. That's what gratitude is. An obligation. It is something owed. It is a burden on your mind and on your soul. Greed, on the other hand, is fun. Greed serves our pride. It serves our ego. Greed is a pleasure. We want to get something to eat. We want to go get this money. We want to put ourselves in a position of power to do what we want to do in life. Notice with gratitude, when you feel gratitude, you have to do things. Like, man, I have to do something for this person. I have to pay them back. I have to make sure I express my thanks. That's how we feel with gratitude. We have to do it. It is a burden. It is something that weighs on us until we get it off of us. Greed, on the other hand, is a pleasure. All right, it's fun to accumulate more of the things that we want. It's fun to accumulate more success. It's fun to go eat another slice of cake if you want that other slice of cake. You know what I mean? As long as you're not in like some kind of bet with somebody that you can't eat another slice. Gratitude is fun. It is fun to serve, not gratitude, excuse me. Greed is fun. It is fun to serve our greed. It is painful to pay back our gratitude. I'm pausing there just to let that sink in. And you can think about if this is true or not. If you want to move people to action, do not depend on appealing to their gratitude. Depend on their want for more, i.e. their greed, and leverage that instead. If you want to move people to action, think about what they want, their pleasures, their greed, and offer that to them. That will move them to action guaranteed. You only have to be a good salesperson. If you offer people what they want, you don't even have to be good at sales. You don't have to have the gift of gab. You don't have to be a good speaker. You don't have to have a professionally designed website. If you offer people what they want, they will move on their own. You won't have to worry about moving them to action. When I first started creating and selling products over 10 years ago, my first website was HTML based. It was not professionally designed because I did it and I was not a professional web designer. And guess what? Over 10 years later, I'm still not a professional web designer. I found some better tools, but I'm still not a professional web designer. The product was not even auto delivered. I was selling a digital product, and if somebody bought it, I had to open up my email, copy and paste their email address into a new email, and attach their program, the product that they had purchased, to the email and send it to them manually. I was doing that for about a week before I discovered that there was such thing as digital audio delivery of digital products. But my website was not professionally done. It was only like 1 or 2 pages. I was taking payments straight through PayPal. Then I eventually moved over to, that was just on an HTML site on a free hosting platform. I eventually moved it over to Shopify, was offered a lot more options. Shopify, they offer templates, so my site looked a little bit more professional, but it still wasn't anything official because I was still not a web designer and I still had not hired anyone. I didn't hire anyone to actually do any work for me till probably about, I hired a couple people intermittently, probably around 2012, 13, but I didn't really hire anyone to work for me full time until around 2016 or 2015 when I stopped playing professional basketball. But the whole point is this: those products were selling. Every single day they were selling. Every day I would wake up to new sales. Every day I go to the gym, come home, and there were new sales. Why? Because I was offering people what they wanted. It's not because I had just had this amazing website and it was so incredible and people wanted to thank me for making this beautiful website. No, the website was not beautiful at all. I just let people know, hey, here's something that you want, here's how to get it, and here's where to get it, and people went and got it because their greed overpowered my lack of design skills. When you give people what they want, it doesn't really matter. Gratitude is an obligation. Get people to thank you for helping them out. All right, keep waiting. All right, but don't hold your breath. Greed, giving people what they want and getting them to come to you because you have something that they want, all right, that is absolutely a pleasure. All right, if you want to move people to action, do not depend on gratitude, depend on their greed. This is why, now I've never dealt drugs, but anyone who deals drugs always says, listen, when you deal drugs, you don't really have to be a salesperson. All you got to do is stand there and make sure people know you're the one who has it. They will come to you because you are serving their greed for another hit of that drug, whether it be marijuana, cocaine, methamphetamine, whatever it is people are taking these days. I'm not hip on the drugs, but I think I got those ones right. All right, people will come to you. You ain't gotta hunt them down. You don't have to create a great sales message. You don't have to have a professional website. All you gotta do is stand there and make sure people know you're the one who has that thing. They'll come to you. Why? Because you are appealing to their greed, what they want. When I say greed, that's what I'm talking about. What people want and them wanting more and more and more of it as much as they can possibly obtain. That's what greed is. For the most part, people give when they see giving as the best option for them, not as the best option for you. In other words, the weed head will give $20 for $20 worth of weed, not because they want to support your business, but because they want $20 worth of weed. It happens to support your business, but that's not the reason why they gave it to you. You understand what I'm saying? Understand people's psychology. When someone does something that helps you out, usually it's not because they just want to help you out. They're doing it because it helps them out, and it helps you out at the same time. That's just collateral damage or collateral benefit, for lack of a better term, if you excuse the phrase. Even charitable giving. When somebody gives to a charity and you know about it, why do you know about it? Because the person who gave made sure that became news. Now, why would somebody give to a charity, which is ostensibly to help other people, not to help themselves? But how would you find out that somebody gave to a charity? If somebody wants to give to a charity anonymously, they can. All right, there are ways to give to charity anonymously, and there's no way anybody will know you did it. So when you know that someone has done some charitable giving, why do you know about it? That's the question. Why do you know? You know how you know, but why do you know? Because they want to make themselves look good. They want to make themselves look like someone who gives, someone who's benevolent, someone who gives, someone who is charitable, someone who thinks first of others and less of themselves. That's why charitable donations become public news. Now, is that part of the reason? Is this person a giving individual? Do they care about others? Do they want to help other people out? I'm sure there is at least some percentage inside a person that is part of the reason why they give to a charity. But is there also some part of them that want to make sure everybody knows that they did it? Absolutely, because if there wasn't, they would just give anonymously and nobody would even know they did it. But they make sure you know, because there's some part of them wants you to know that they know that you know. Point number 2, today's topic is what to do when everyone is out for themselves. So the first thing is your understanding that gratitude has limits, greed does not. Here's the second thing. If you want people's involvement, cooperation, help, attention, and money, again, appeal to their greed. Give them what they want and what they need. If you want someone to get involved in your project, don't tell them why you need it and how it's going to help you and why you just need someone to give you a shot or donate a little bit of their time. That shit is not going to work. Maybe it'll work with a few people and maybe it'll work for a certain period of time, but it ain't going to work for an extended period of time. If you want people's involvement, you want someone to get in, cooperate with what you're doing. You want someone to help you out. You want someone to give you their attention. You want someone to part with their money, offer them something that they want and need, and you won't even have to worry about a sales pitch. Again, if the drug dealer wants to make $5, they don't need to come up with a $5 sales pitch. All you need to do is come up with $5 of weed or $5 of drug product. Make sure that the drug addicts know that they have $5 of drug product and that product is going to sell, guaranteed. No sales pitch necessary. All you gotta know is I'm the one who got it. Yeah, it's $5, here it is. Give me the money, I give you the drugs, we good. Find out what people want, create/obtain it, offer it to them in exchange for money. They will come and they will never leave as long as you can continue to deliver. I just explained to you business in a nutshell. You want people to keep showing up to you and not leave. All you have to do is continually deliver what they want, something that you can either create yourself or obtain. You create it. For example, I'm creating this masterclass right now. If I was a car salesman, I don't have to create cars. I can obtain access to the cars and then I can offer it to you. All right, I work at the Range Rover dealership. You want a Range Rover? I will offer it to you, even though it's not my Range Rover. I'm just a representative of the people who own it. I make the sale. You give the money. I give you the keys to the car. I get a little percentage of that transaction. The dealership gets the rest. Win, win, win situation. You win as a customer, I win as the commission salesperson, the company wins as they move the car off the lot, and the government wins too, because they get a piece of the whole thing too. So it's a win, 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 win. All right, would you like to be part of more transactions that sound like that? Here's what you do. Find out what people want, create or obtain it, then offer it to the people in exchange for their money. They will give it up if it's what they need. If you offer people something that they need and they're not giving up their money, maybe you're not offering them enough of what they need, or maybe you're not offering me what they need at all. But you can find out. Go talk to the people who didn't buy from you. They'll let you know why they didn't buy. Listen, people are happy to offer their opinions if you ask for it. Did you hear what I just said? Any of you who is challenged with understanding your market and understanding your customer, people are happy to offer their opinions if you ask for them. All right, everybody has them. All right, believe it or not. The person sitting next to you right now has plenty of opinions about you if you ask for it. They'll give it to you. And if you don't ask, most people are too polite to offer it to you. All right, but they will give it to you if you ask. You just gotta be willing to ask. Anyway, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey, Mark Zuckerberg. You know why they all have your attention? You know who all these people are, right? Why do they have your attention? Not because of your gratitude. It's not because you want to offer them thanks for what they've done. Maybe you do, but that's not the reason they have your attention. They have your attention because they're giving you what you wanted and what you needed, maybe even before you knew you wanted it and needed it. All right, nobody knew that they needed a smartphone before Steve Jobs made it. Nobody knew that they needed Facebook before Facebook became Facebook. Sometimes, if you're a genius like one of these guys, Steve Jobs or Zuckerberg, you can create a need, you can create something that people don't even know that they need until you put it out. Now, if you're not as smart as them, then maybe you can just find out what people need and create that or obtain access to that. All right, so if you're not a genius like Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg, that's okay. You can still be pretty successful. I mean, Oprah didn't invent talk shows. Right? She didn't invent sitting down and having a conversation. She recognized that people needed that and wanted it. She leveraged it. And Oprah, I think she's doing pretty good. Would you say? You know these people because they give you what you want and you need sometimes before you even know you need it. Sometimes not even a new invention, just a new way of accessing it. Uber, for example, the company, they didn't invent cars. They didn't invent taxis. They didn't invent somebody getting a ride from point A to point B. But what did they offer? They offered, hey, we can help people who have cars, want to make some extra money, they have extra space in their car. We can help you by connecting you with people who need a ride and don't have a car or access to one, or maybe they just don't want to drive it. They want to get from point A to point B. You want to make a few extra dollars. We will be the broker between you and those people, and we'll collect a little percentage of every transaction that goes down. Uber, the company, doesn't do they don't take rides themselves. They don't do the rides themselves. They don't own any vehicles. They don't have the people who are riding around giving you rides in Ubers, they are not employees of Uber. They are contractors. All Uber does is act as the middleman. Their platform is the middleman between the riders who need a ride and the drivers who need a passenger. That's it. And they collect a little percentage on every transaction that goes down. And there are a lot of transactions going down. That is business. Why is the porn industry so big? The porn industry is as big as it is, and it will continue to be as big as it is, may even get bigger, simply because every human being has a hardwired desire for sexual satisfaction. Every human being has it. So some people can get it through actual person-to-person contact, and some people can't, so they go to the porn industry, and some people just use a hybrid of both. All right, you decide which category you're in, you know. Point number 3, today's topic is what to do when everyone on the planet is out for themselves. Point number 3, if you want to help people out, what if you're just a very altruistic individual, you just want to help people, and this episode is kind of depressing you right now, like Dre, this masterclass, you're talking about how people are selfish and how you appeal to people's desires and their greeds and their needs. I get it, but man, this is kind of depressing, man. I really like just helping people out. I'm a very altruistic individual. What am I supposed to do with all this information, Dre? You want to help people out, here's what you do. First, you need to be focused. You need to be focused on being selfish. You must take care of yourself first so that you are better equipped to serve others. Jay-Z has a line in his song where he says, I can't help the poor if I'm one of them, so I got rich and gave back. To me, that's the win-win. Close quote, Jay-Z. You got to be selfish first. Focus on you. Take care of you, so now you are in a position to take care of other people. As the cliche goes, if you're on a plane with a child, they tell you, put the mask on your face first before you put the mask on anyone else, before you help anybody else. Because if you are asphyxiating and dying from a lack of oxygen, you're not much help to anybody else. You're not much help to stop anybody else from dying from a lack of oxygen, because look, you can't even prove you keep yourself alive. How are you going to keep anybody else alive? In other words, as Jay-Z said, can't help the poor if he's one of them, so he got rich first. You got to make yourself important first so you can make yourself nice second, as we just talked about a couple days ago. If you want to be nice to other people in life, the best thing you can do to be nice to other people is make yourself important, because now you will have the ammunition to do nice things. Now, if you don't have the resources to do nice things, you could want to be nice all you want, but if you can't actually execute on any of your niceness, doesn't really matter. If a nice person is nice in a world where nobody knows that they exist, does their niceness make a sound? The answer is no. I just told you 5 days ago to be important now and be nice later. The more you focus on helping yourself, making yourself important, again, the definition of important, having a profound impact on success. So the more you focus on helping you, making yourself important, not only can you help people tangibly with what you offer, in other words, giving people a fish, you can also help people understand what they can do to help themselves. In other words, teaching people how to fish. Now, you can hand out fish all day if you want to, but everybody's going to eventually eat the fish. They're going to need another fish. So do you want to give yourself a lifetime job of handing out fish? Or would you rather give yourself a lifetime job of teaching fishing lessons? Now, every person who buys from you, they will never need your help again, but they're going to eat off what you gave them for the rest of their lives. And there will always be more people who want to learn how to fish. All right, as they come across the people who are eating off their own efforts for the rest of their lives, all right, they're going to ask who taught you how to fish so that you can eat off your own efforts and not need to ask for handouts. They're going to say, oh, well, Susie did, Tanya did, Charlie did, Lisa did. They're the ones who told me how to fish. They're going to say, oh, well, let me go find Lisa. I want to learn how to fish. Let me go find Tanya. She's selling fishing poles. I need one. This is the way that it works, people. The more you focus on helping yourself, you can help people tangibly by giving them fish, but you can also help them understand things by teaching them to fish. This is what you do when you know that people are selfish. Let's recap today's class, which is what to do when everybody is out for themselves. The truth is, the world is selfish. Everybody's tuned into WIIFM, What's in It for Me radio. We all think of ourselves first and our needs, and then if there's any time or attention left over, then we might think about everybody else's. While we love other people, we love ourselves the most. So here's how you protect yourself when everybody else out there is just as selfish as your ass is. Number one, gratitude has its limits. Greed has no limits. Gratitude is a quality of thankfulness. Greed is an intense and selfish desire for something. Gratitude is an obligation. It is a burden. Greed is fun. It is a pleasure. If you want to move people to action, do not depend on their gratitude. Depend on their want for more and leverage it. Even charitable giving, people give charitably and you know about it because they want to make sure you know about it. They want to make sure they look good in the process of doing something to help other people. We are all selfish. Number two, if you want people's involvement, cooperation, help, attention, or money, give them what they need. They will come and they will never leave. It's like the drug dealer says, they don't have to sell drugs. All you have to do is stand there and make transactions for drugs. Drugs get bought from you. You don't have to sell them. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Oprah, Mark Zuckerberg, they all have all of our attention not because of their gratitude, but because they have given what you wanted and needed. They've given you what you wanted and needed, maybe before you even knew you wanted or needed it. Those people are geniuses. Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs, for example, Bill Gates as well. Oprah may not be a genius, but she leveraged something that she saw people already wanted. She took a built-in need that already existed. There was already a market for it, talking to people, conversation, and she built the whole business off of that. So you don't have to come up with something brand new out of the blue. All you have to do is look for the points of leverage and then show that you have some game there and people will come and they will stay. Point number three, you want to help people out? Focus on taking care of yourself first so you are better equipped to serve others. Jay-Z said he can't help the poor if he's one of them. In other words, make yourself important first so you can be nice later. The more you focus on helping yourself, not only can you help people tangibly with what you offer, i.e. giving them fish, you can also help them understand what they can do to help themselves. In other words, teaching them to fish. Work on your game. Dre all day.